Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Room 521. I'm Courtney B.
I'm Chris B.
I'm Sandra B.
And I'm Sammy B. So today, I'm about to throw a monkey wrench into all their plans.
A monkey wrench?
Yeah, we're about to go into a whole nother topic. So the question is, in this topic, right, go get some real answers.
Okay.
What would you do today if you knew your spouse was going to die tomorrow?
Ooh.
What would you do today,
Sammy?
if you knew your spouse was going to die tomorrow?
Why are you going to do this today?
Because I got to thinking about it. You know, we've known a few people, their spouses died. Aunt Cheryl and Uncle Mike, Mr. Galloway and Miss Yvonne Galloway. And it made me think about a story. Not a story, but I went to work on this lady's cable many years ago. And I told saying this story. I don't think I told y'all. But it was a white lady. And it's hard to tell because I'm thinking about it. And so this white lady, she lost her husband. And she said he used to have this ritual every morning. He would fix his coffee. And he would always, she said, I could never get him to stop doing this. He would put his coffee on the counter, overfill it, and always have a coffee ring, but he never clean it up.
Right.
And she always get on to him, why you go do that every day? Why you just clean it up? And the thing that hit me, she say, I wish I could clean this coffee stain one more time. So it made me think about this question. What would you do today if you knew your spouse was going to die tomorrow? How would you treat him or her?
Ooh, you hit me over the head with that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think, in answering that question, we have to think about how we treat our spouses. What's important and what's not important. Is that argument you having,
Is it really worth it?
Is it worth it? Because we don't know the next minute what can happen. Yeah, of course, we people get sick and you kind of got some kind of way, but what if some instant like car wreck, whatever, you don't know.
Right.
So how would you treat them? And I go. Whoever want to go first?
You go because I can't, bro.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get myself
I can't comprehend.
together.
Like and I don't even know how to answer it because of course you would try. You go. Of course, the normal answer is gonna be I'm gonna do everything.
Right.
I'm gonna spend as much time. But going to our other episodes, we talked about sex. We talked about insecurities and things like that. When I think about like things me and Sandra struggle with, far as like either my insecurity or her insecurity, or sexual desires, things we want, don't want, whatever. What do you put at the forefront of all that? What do you put far as work, kids, possessions, house, cars? Where does true time spent really makes matter? Whether you can say it's sexual, you can say, well, I just spend all day with them, blah, blah, blah. But we talking about, they're going to die tomorrow. How do you treat them? Do you do everything for them? Is everything off the table now? Like, what do you need? What do you want? How do you need me to treat you? Let me just listen to you.
Right.
And I'll just stop talking. Let me hear your voice one last time. And I think that's what I would do. I would just want to hear saying, I want to feel her touch. I want her close to me. I wouldn't even want to go nowhere. Like, I just want to
hold you,
be in that moment. Yeah. And it's hard to think about that, but it's a reality. We don't know when. We don't know the hour. We don't know the day. We don't know the minute of when our spouse might be taken away from us.
Exactly.
So it puts in perspective. And when we're talking about this thing, love, Room 521, love one another in the fear of God. What does that truly mean in your relationship? What does that, how does that equate in your everyday life?
Right.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I think that was also why God said, don't let the sun rise on your wrath.
Go down.
Go down.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what I meant.
Yeah. We got you.
And we try hard to practice that. I don't care what we mad about. We not going to bed with this. No, because you ain't promised tomorrow. we're gonna fix this now. Like, and letting stuff linger, it's toxic.
It makes it worse.
It's toxic.
Totally worse.
And we learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Because we would, like, you know, we would just. It's a balance, though. I don't want to say.
Every day is not perfect.
I'm not going to say
we
just.
don't get it right.
Just don't let it linger. But at the same time, you can't just forcefully try to correct the problem.
Yeah.
That was our problem. Sam would shut down. But I want to, I want to hash it out.
Right.
But I went about it the wrong way. So it takes time to be. You got to be patient. You know what I'm saying, and be willing to listen.
Yeah.
You know, but on both sides, because we are all different people. We handle every one of us handle some situation totally different. You know, and it's not wrong. It's not right. It's just the way our brains are processed. But I think, like, when you're thinking about an argument, like you know, you was talking about, or thinking about just anything, how would you handle that argument? How would you, if you're about to go to bed and you know this is the last time we're about to lay together, how would you handle the argument then versus how you handle it now?
Man, you just gave me a whole new perspective, man. Like, it's literally live your life with your spouse like you know it's going to be their last day. Man, bro.
Ooh-wee.
Because we
good
let life get in the way.
We do.
We let it get in the way. You know, I'm guilty of it. We all guilty of it. Like, you chasing what you want to call a dream or whatever it is, and you sacrifice. It really made me think about it. I was like, I go to work. I work 10, 12 hours, and I come home, and I'm tired. I know I got to go work next day. And so me and Sam watch a couple of episodes, whatever we're watching. And then I go to sleep, and I was like, how could I have spent that time? You know, could we just conversate it? Could we just talk?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Could we just hug one another? You know, it's so much we can do if we realize this might be the last time.
Exactly.
I mean, this might be the last time.
But see, we do, and it's so easy to let that be our excuse. You know, life gets in the way. We let that be our excuse. That's our excuse, and we are okay with that because life happens. So that's the excuse. But if you said, like you said, if we live every day like it could be our last, which the Bible says, we don't know what tomorrow holds. Worry about today.
Yeah.
So if we live like tomorrow is going to be our last day with our spouse, then we would love each other the way we were supposed to be loved. Everybody's needs are being met.
Yeah, it's
It took me to another place too, where if you're a married couple out there and things aren't the best right now, I think you also have to remember it's a blessing to have somebody. Like, you may be in a valley right now,
Right.
but it's still a blessing to have somebody, especially if you know that person love you. Like, y'all might not be seeing eye to eye, but just being able to have somebody that's to say that's my wife, that's my husband, that's still a blessing.
It's a huge blessing, and we take it for granted. You know, that's where the question comes from. Yeah, we take it for granted. Like, you know, I know for me, like, I think about, you know, I love to watch anime. I love whatever I'm watching. I love TV. I love movies. Whatever. I love it. How much time have I put that above my wife? You know what I'm saying? How much time in chasing a dream? If I'm studying for whatever, or I'm taking some online courses, how much of that am I putting ahead of her? Now, that don't mean you don't pursue things. It don't mean you shut down life and y'all just go hug each other. You can't do that. Like, you gotta pay bills. But the time you do have with one another, how what's the word I'm looking for?
How are you maximizing?
Yeah, how are you maximizing that time? Like, we do get away. We've been fortunate enough where we get to get away, and we get to spend time with each other, and it just, the question just came to my head. I just thinking about, like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna die, if she gonna die.
Right. And I think that
I think about that all the time, though.
I try not to, but I do. And I try not to take myself there because I know I'm an overthinker. And I'll think,
Me
and
too,
I'll
Courtney.
think, and I'll think. I try not to let myself go there, but I do. And in those moments, like, even if we haven't been arguing, but if we haven't just really been talking, like, I mean, we say good morning, we say, how you doing, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Kiss mom. But, you know, like, there isn't, just that day, there wasn't any, like, connection or something. And sometimes when
Just
I think
going through
about,
the motions.
going through the motions. And when I think about, you know, if I die or Chris dies, I try not to get sad because I know the Lord is going to take care of them.
Yep.
And I know that if it's my time, then I'm ready to go. But if it's his time, then that's tough. And that's sad. Like, I can trust God for him to be okay.
Yeah.
But if he leaves me, like, it's hard to see that trust. And that God's going to take care of me.
That's why I told you, I think I might have admitted this to you last year for the first time. That's why I always get a bit of separation anxiety every time you go on that girls trip. Because when I lay down in that bed at night by myself, it's a snapshot of what if she wasn't here. And it's like, oh man, I hate dealing with that reality. So that weekend that you go on it's like, I'm good till it's time for me to have to lay down and go to bed. Yeah. And that reality hits me like, what if your wife wasn't here?
That's every night for me.
Yeah, cause I'm working third shift. So it's rough.
But this topic or this question can go into the topic that we were supposed to discuss, like the words you say.
Yes. Yes.
Do
Sticks
they
and
matter?
stones. Yeah.
Like,
it makes a difference. Thinking about what you say with that perspective makes a difference in what you say. You know what I'm saying? How you say it. It's okay. I say it like this. Like I say, we're transparent.
amen.
Yeah.
So just before the podcast, before y'all got here, right?
Really? Really? You just gonna let everybody know what's wrong with me?
It wasn't nothing wrong with you. It wasn't nothing wrong with you. Actually, it wasn't. It was.
I'm just
I look at it like so. Sam was trying to get the Roku turned on, right? I had cut it off. I'm over here on the computer, even though I'm more tech savvy. And so,
and I'm not.
And she's not. So she's trying to get it on. I look back, and then she's like, I can't get the Roku on. I like cut it on.
Just like that.
Not bad.
Right.
Not good either.
Right.
So what's the better thinking with that mentality? What if she died tomorrow? How do I approach that?
Right. Right.
What I could have
Something
said
simple
different.
like that.
Right.
We, when I asked the question, we probably think about deep stuff, whatever.
Yep.
But I'm talking about simple
Simple.
stuff. So she's struggling trying to get the Roku on. I'm sitting here trying to get everything prepared. I get everything prepared, and I look back to see if she need help, and I say, just turn it on.
Right.
And I'm doing everything to turn it on.
Yeah.
I'm unplugging
She didn't need to hear that
plugging it
right
back
there.
up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't need to hear, just turn it on, babe. Now, I didn't mean nothing by it.
Right.
But she's frustrated.
Right.
I didn't see that.
The way you said it didn't help.
It did not help.
And sometimes we do get caught up and we're so focused on what we're doing that we don't see the frustration or we don't see how we could make something better.
Yeah.
And we're just saying, just go ahead. Just like today. Like, I was like, baby, what it feel like outside? He's like, I don't know. I ain't been outside.
We can't get right to that.
And I'm not going to front. After I said it, I was like,
What? I was right. I was in the same. I'm sorry, cut you. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was in the same spot when I said it.
He looked back
and then Sam was like, I was like, baby, you all right?
no, he didn't even say that. He looked back.
She was like, I'm trying to get it.
I'm about to cut this.
Don't you think I done turned on the rope? I was like, dog, Sam, you missed it, bro. So I got up, came over there, started
And
helping her out.
right.
But I missed it.
And he said, did I unplug it? Did I forget to plug it back up?
And then it was unplugged. It was my fault. She's like, see, it's your fault. It wasn't my fault. But it's and like you say, you as men, and we've talked about somewhat the way we're wired, we just give short answers.
Right.
Yes.
And we think like if I ask Chris,
what
is it like outside?
Right.
And he was like, I don't know, I ain't been out there. I was like, all right, then I'm gonna go check.
Right.
That's how it's gonna be answered. But if y'all ask us, what is it like outside? I'm like, I don't know, I ain't been outside yet. Why you getting that to? It's different.
Why you gotta say it like that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just go check?
I ain't been outside. I'm like,
can you go check, please?
But it's when we conversate, we don't men. Most men, there's some divas out there.
Yeah.
Most men don't take. We just want a straight answer.
Right.
That's all we look for. But sometimes we mess up by giving a straight answer to our wives.
Right.
And not doing, like you talked about before in the episode, the love languages, how you say things. And like you were saying, the original topic was sticks and stones.
Right.
And how words can hurt you. But even in conversation and even in how you say things, and I have to catch myself. I really do like how I say stuff, because I think I'm not trying to say it in a sarcastic way, but it comes off as sarcastic sometimes. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but it just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I understand. Because, I do have to catch myself.
Now with living with you, but then there's times when I do want to cut you.
But to that point, though, like, after I said that, though, what did I do?
You went outside and checked.
I went outside and checked.
And after you said that, what did you do? You came over there and helped.
It's understanding. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding the situation.
See, but here's like, for the female side of it, this is their issue. When they want you to do something, the way they express it, like, I used to have a real issue.
Give us an example, Chris. Give us an example.
She would want me to do something, and she would point at it. Ooh.
Chris, we ain't gonna talk about that, Chris.
Ooh.
I don't remember doing that.
Baby.
I plead the fifth. I don't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like, get that. I'm like, babe, what are you talking about? Get that. It's a whole bunch of stuff over there.
There's a whole bunch of that over there.
What is that? Baby, I'm talking about that right now. Baby, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
There are times when I can't. I'm looking at it, but I can't say it. So you should know
figure out the
what
word.
Yes. So you should know what I'm pointing at.
We got to figure it out.
And I still do it.
Babe, can you pick that up for me?
I don't know what they want us to grab. Just pick that up.
Like, I'll never forget this one time. Y'all was at the house at the time. We was in CJ's room or something. And it was something you wanted me to do or fix or something. And you said, I need you to do that. Bruh.
That's not the thing.
Not the snap.
Bruh.
Not
the snap.
Chris, like,
I didn't even say nothing at the time, but I think you might have saw the look on my face. And I just walked out the room, and I had to tell you, like, baby,
no snap it.
You can't do that. Like, I'm a grown man. You can't
don't snap it.
Do
baby.
that.
Please,
like, please.
But I think some of that happens, especially with mothers,
right?
And you're talking to children.
They stay in mommy mode all the time. Go back to the question. How do you handle that situation? Right. Knowing
your spouse is gonna die.
Yes. That's, I think, with that question, you remember back in the day they had the WWJD,
right?
But just thinking about, it's almost the same scenario. Like, what would you do if you knew that? Right. Like, how would you treat time?
Right.
Time is precious.
You don't get it back.
No.
Time is we sitting here talking right now, and time is passing that we cannot get back. We can replace money. We can replace a house. We can replace cars, whatever, jobs. We cannot get time back. I remember men saying we first got married. I was 20. She was 25. Like, we've been married 22 years, bro, and it's like that.
Right.
And I was like, man, like, we wasted a lot of time on stuff we didn't need to waste time on.
Right. Right.
A lot of time.
Too much time.
And now you're trying to, like, man, like, we're getting to that part of our lives, like, bro, like, we can see the end of the road.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we don't know when it's going to come, but you are closer.
Like, your own mortality gets more real by the day. Like, you see classmates of yours pass away. You know, family members. Like, so you never know.
I mean, especially this past year with COVID, it's like,
it's been crazy.
Like, and I remember, like, Uncle this and Uncle Odell, you used to say it all the time, you know, the older you get, the more death you see. But this past year, this is enough death to last a lifetime, it feels like.
Yeah.
But when you're, like you said, you know, wasting time on nothing.
Nonsense.
Arguing or being mad or bickering or jealousy. I mean, not even in marriage, just in life. Yeah. You know, jealousy.
Walk around angry all the time for no reason.
For no reason. What?
And it's like, you got to think about, like, you know, with the whole argument or whatever the case is, you know, that time you have with your spouse is supposed to be some of the most wonderful time in your life when you find the right one.
Right.
Does that mean you're gonna go through situations? Not go through situations? Yes, you're gonna face adversities. But the thing with the question is, how do you handle the adversity? Is it really that bad as you think it is? Now there are situations that's worse than others,
right?
And but still with that question, like, you know, like if I don't know, like I've never hit Sam, never in my life touched her, but like if I was to hit her, how? And it was not like all the time, you know. You got men who beat their wives, and you got wives who beat on their husbands. Right. But I'm saying it was a spur of the moment. Something just happened. I'm like, oh snap, you know. Can you get? Yeah, I'm probably gonna be dead.
You dead?
I'm probably gonna be dead. But I'm speaking way hypothetical.
Right.
Like, how do you handle that situation? You know, and even with infidelity, things like that. How do you handle that if that person, you know, they are going to die?
Right.
Like, are you more forgiving?
Right.
You know, and I look at Christ and how forgiving he is with grace, because he know that if we die and we're not in him, we're going to hell, right? So he gave up everything so that we can have eternal life in heaven. So that scripture, wives, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church, takes a new meaning when you look at it in a perspective of Christ. We talking about the Almighty, and I think about this all the time. Like, it was hard enough for him to die, but we talking about somebody with all power, and to be able to lay that power to the side. If Courtney was in danger, the kids was in danger, and you are all powerful, and you had to set that to the side so you can save the rest of the world. Or would you use that power to save Courtney and the kids? Because he could have easily wiped out everybody else and just had the apostles, marrying them with him. Hey, look, we gonna rule like y'all think we was gonna rule.
Right.
He could have easily did that. But for him to relinquish that power for us, that puts in perspective, as a husband, what are you doing for your wife? And wives, are you able to relinquish authority to that? A lot of times, the problems we run into is we don't follow them simple rules.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's love.
Right.
So we always say, what's our Indian saying? I'm having a brain fart.
Keep love alive.
Keep love alive. But are we keeping love alive? We say it every time.
Right.
But are we truly keeping love alive? When y'all just had an argument, when we just had an argument, are we keeping love alive?
Right.
You know, it's when I didn't wash the dishes like you wanted me to wash the dishes. Or you didn't rub my back like I wanted you to rub my back. Are we keeping love alive in that situation? When the kids are getting on our nerves and the bills just kind of slacking, are we keeping love alive?
Right.
Like we have to keep love alive daily. The Bible says we must die daily to this flesh. And true love, we know, is Christ.
Right.
You know, so we have to have more Christ in us so we can keep love alive in our marriage. It's not about how much we can love, because our love is
Fading.
it's
Fleeting.
nothing. Yeah,
Right.
it's nothing compared to what Christ has.
Right.
But when we both have Christ, and y'all both have Christ, and that love connects, it can be everlasting.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know I'm kind of taking it to a different place, but I think that's why the enemy attacks marriages
Yes.
so much, because
so
the
close
two of us together, like, what was I reading? Somewhere in scripture, New Testament, I can't remember, where Jesus said, where there are two or three gathered in my name, I'm going to be in the midst.
Yep.
So me and Chris are doing a devotional about prayer, and this week we're talking about intercession. If the two of us are praying and agreeing on whatever it is, like, we are a force, and that's why the enemy tries to attack marriages so hard, because if we grasp that we have that power through Jesus Christ, then we are a force. We can change situations, and we can change people's lives. Like, that's why he comes at marriages so hard.
Hard, boy. Like, he come at it. Like,
Full force.
I forgot the stats you read, but that was with money, but just divorce in general.
I think it was 55% of people cited money as a reason.
Yeah, but that's just with money. Like,
Right.
That's just one element.
Yeah, so you look at just divorce in general. I think the divorce rate is almost like 50%, somewhere around there. It is, bro. Like 50% of people can't stay married. Why is that?
And I think another thing too is when you are two people of influence, he really come at you hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
When you're working for the kingdom, bro.
Oh, yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
And so I think about, like, when I was thinking about the divorce, and I said, like, people can't stay married. You remember when y'all was dating? When we was dating, boy, it was joyous. I'm telling you, I walked down the street, cook. You say popcorn love. Oh, and I was walking down the street cooking breakfast for saying, like, carrying pots
Every morning.
every morning. Like, what happens to that? You know what I'm saying? What happens to that passion? You know, of course we still love our wives. Of course they still love us. You know, they haven't changed. But where is that? And I think that's where that question comes in point. Like, when at that time we weren't living like they might die, but we was living like we want to be with them every single moment of the day. Be on the phone and going to sleep on the phone. What happens in the days now? We just kick it, text, blah blah blah. All right, baby, I'm on my way home.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? What happens to that? What happened from then to now?
Get so much in a routine.
Yeah.
And you know, the problem is we just accept that that's gonna happen.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
We teach people that it's gonna get hard.
Yeah,
it's gonna get
life.
life. You just gotta work through it. No, it don't have to be that way.
doesn't.
And I tell people that as much as I can, like, no, it don't have to be like that. It will be
doesn't.
that way if you
Allow
let it.
it. Yeah.
And
If you allow it.
And that's exactly like where we why this podcast exists.
Right.
To show people, like, you can love one another. Like, we're still growing. But I think we all have got to a great place in our marriage, and it's way better than what it used to be. And I know for us,
Definitely.
and,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, we want to show people that love can still live within your marriage. You can still have that passion, bro.
Yes.
Can.
That godly passion.
Yeah, and I love to get away with my wife. I love, like, just for us to have us time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Nothing
hugging on one another and whatever, rubbing on her toes and all that good stuff. Like, whatever. Just, it don't matter. I love it. I love you, baby.
I love you.
No.
Look at it.
No.
See, Chris got to say it now. You know.
I ain't competing with you. I am not. You win this round.
They have a little thing, y'all.
Yes.
They have to compete.
We
and
don't
try
compete.
to up one another.
No, we
Whatever.
don't.
Where did y'all even get that from?
I don't
It was from the
know.
comedy special with Shaq and them, and then you remember Kevin Hart.
Right,
That's
right,
yeah.
right.
The All-Star Weekend comedy
Yeah.
special.
Right.
He's like, this I know Shaq talking about. You gotta watch it. It's funny.
But yeah, just, I mean, if we all lived our lives in general with that concept of even our coworkers,
Yeah.
you know, even the people we work with, or, you know, what if we just treated them like they was going to die tomorrow?
It's huge, man. Just that question in anything in your life.
Yeah.
With your kids.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just how you approach people, how you, like you say, treat people, how you just approach life in general. Like, how, what if that person that was the last time you was going to talk to them? Like, how would you treat that person? And I think if we treat people like that, especially our spouses,
Right.
that love will exist.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what the world needs more love. And we need to love. We are looking at so much stuff that really doesn't mean nothing.
Right.
Color of people's skin,
Yeah.
where you live on this side of the track, that side of the track, where you believe, what I believe, what I don't believe, it don't matter.
Right.
What matters is how much do I care for you and how much can I help you.
Right.
And if we can
Right.
approach that, approach situations like that, we could grow so much in this world, and we could be a whole lot better place than what we are. You know what I'm saying? Just, I think sometimes we argue just for the fact of arguing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I got a different view than you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Chris,
Too much energy.
Courtney and Chris, and me and Sam, we are close as close can be. But we don't agree on everything exactly right. Majority of stuff we do.
Right. We're probably as close as people can be, but
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But I'm saying, I'm pretty sure something out there that we don't exactly agree. Or we
Right.
might take a different approach. I ain't gonna say
Right.
we don't
Right.
agree on it,
Right.
but we might go about it differently. But it's that don't make us. We should not like each other,
Right.
Because the way we treat each other is with love and compassion. Whether it's we correcting one another or whatever, it's with love and compassion. I think, and if you do that, especially with spouses, if you approach them with love and compassion every day, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll be
And
all
what
right.
was the question you asked before we started? What did Jared Sanders say?
I actually think that'd be a good way to open up the next episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool
Okay.
beans.
Y'all keep a lookout. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe to
Check
us.
us out on YouTube, Facebook. Check us out on
Twitter.
all
Social media outlets.
all social media platforms, all podcasts,
Yeah.
iTunes,
Yeah, we on podcast
Google Play. Wait, it's not Google Play. What is it?
Yeah, it's Google.
Okay.
It's Google Podcast.
Google Podcasts, iTunes.
iTunes,
Check
all
us
that,
out.
yeah.
We on all of them. Check us out.
Spotify, all of it.
Amen.
Yeah. iHeartRadio.
Amen.
All of it.
Like, comment, subscribe. That's
Don't
how we
Yeah.
forget to
share,
hit that
share,
notification
share if you
bell.
can.
Hit that
Yes.
so you can know when a new episode come in for
Exactly.
you. Cool beans. But look, hey, let's toast to the kings and queens, y'all.
All
Toast
right.
them up.
Ching ching.
Clink, 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 clink,
Clink,
clink,
clink,
clink,
clink.
And y'all remember to
To
keep
keep
Love alive.
Love you guys.
Every day.
water good.